we always should be focused on getting more cash in the door. You know, that's not something reserved for when things are going wrong. I think one of the mistakes a lot of people make is that they're a bit complacent when it comes to short-term money. And so what happens is, like, if you're not focused on short-term revenue and short-term goals and short-term cash, if you let that go for a period of time, then at some point when you need to fix it, you've got to go super intense to fix it, right? So, like, I'm going to give you some, 5 ways for you to kind of get money in the door right away. Maybe all 5 aren't relevant to you right now, but some of them will be. But here's the lesson in this. Like, if you're always focused on short-term money and short-term goals and short-term invoicing, you probably won't have the problem where you hit a crisis situation and kind of need to go all in heavy. Okay, so you need to always be focused on bringing in the short-term cash. Okay, as an organization, we obviously have where we're going to go for 1 year. We have a 90-day plan on how we're going to go, and then every single week we're focused in, what's invoicing, what are we going to get in, what are our expectations. We're going for that short-term money all the time, because if you go for short-term money all the time, you have enough money and you can grow and scale the business. Okay, so that's the name of the game here. All right. 5 quick ways for cash. Number 1, and before I get into it, what's the name of the game here? I answer your questions, right? It's a call-in show, or you can put a question in the comments below, and I will give you my 2 cents. So while I'm teaching you this stuff, just take a minute to think about what you would like some help on. It could be around. It could be around sales, it could be around marketing, it could be around team, HR, team culture, finances, kids, marriage, the Bible, Proverbs 3:9, whatever you want to talk about, all right? You put your questions in the comments box below, or put your phone number in, one of my team will call you, patch you through to me, and I'll answer your question. All right, number 1, if you want to get money in real quick, is call your debtors. The people that owe you money, okay? Intrigues me with debtors about a lot of business people who they neglect the little amounts of money in their business. For whatever reason, doesn't seem enough to change things or, whatever. But if you actually just jump on and keep debtors tight, then you'll have more cash flow running through your business. I was talking to one of our clients just today on a coaching call. And he said, I've done all the work and they owe me $5,000. It's like, really? How much money did you take a deposit? None. Really? So, it's like, go back to the old system. Collect 50% of the money up front or more. Do the work, and before you release it, get the remainder of the money. If you have a tight system like that, anybody that's an absolute tire kicker and never intends to pay you, doesn't even jump aboard, saves you a whole bunch of headache, okay? So you got to have these strategies in place to eliminate the debtors, or at least minimize the amount of debtors that you have. But if you've got debtors right now, by the way, people say, I don't really have debtors, I've only got a couple $100. Take a couple $100, all right? Take the couple $100, put it into marketing, go and get a better client and kick the old bad one out that's paying late, right? You've just got to make sure all of these dollars are washing through your business. So how do you do that? Literally jump on the phone. If you don't have a debtors system, then I'm going to give it to you. It's 3 steps. The first phone call is simply, it's an oops phone call. Hey Mary, the invoice is still outstanding. Invoice 217 for $400. When can I expect to get that paid? We understand sometimes these things get overlooked. So you're making a little bit of light out of it because you don't want to go in boots and all having never chased your money. So you just do a, hey, this must have been overlooked. When can I expect it to be paid? When Mary says we'll pay it on Tuesday, you say, great, Mary, I'll check the account on Wednesday. And if it's not in there, I'm going to give you a call back. And that lets Mary know that you will actually follow the system. So then that's what happens, right? Call number 1 is simply that. And most people will pay after 1 follow-up call. If you check Wednesday and the money's not in your account, don't give them more time because you're just retraining them that you don't care. You said you'd call Wednesday. If it's not in there Wednesday, call them and say, Mary, and by the way, this phone call is what we call curt. We are short, and we basically just say, Mary, you said this. You told me you were going to pay this much money on Tuesday. I'll check the account Wednesday. It's not there. It still remains outstanding. When can I expect that to be paid? No fanfare, no light, straight to the thing. After you say the question, when can I expect that to be paid? the next person that talks loses. So you want to just be silent, put up with the awkward silence, and let them talk about when they're going to pay it. If they say, I'm going to pay Tuesday, you say, great, or next Tuesday or a month, you say, great, I'm going to check the account the next day, and if it's not in there, I'm going to call you. The third phone call is what we call the 24-hour phone call, which is like, you've promised me twice, Mary, that you're going to pay this, and you haven't. You've got 24 hours. Otherwise, all future communication is going to come from Dun & Bradstreet or whatever data company you use, okay? Or you could say, if I don't get money in 24 hours, then the next correspondence will be from our in-house legal team. However you would word that, all right? Gives them 24 hours to play nicely. So do we not have a thread? Is that what's happening here? No. Do we need to reboot? By the way, I want you to type something in the comments box for me, right? Here's the question. Do you have debtors right now? Yes or no? I want you to put it in the comments box. I want to see some words coming through just to check the system. Do you have debtors? It's a yes or no. It could be a Y or an N. Now, number 2, right? That's the first way you're going to get money in. Number 2 is to call all your outstanding quotes. Right? So if you've quoted a job in the last, I don't know, ever, then call them and just say, hey, we quoted a job for you last week, last month, last year. We'd love to go ahead and do that for you. When can we book you in? And you'll be amazed at the amount of people that they didn't go ahead. It's not that they didn't go ahead with you. Life got in the way and they didn't go ahead. And given an opportunity for somebody to make it easy for them, they just say yes. In fact, this morning, one of our clients posted inside our private Facebook group, our weekly accountability group, it's like, I have started to call up all our lost leads after a week or two, and it's funny. She put a number in there. I think she's done like $3,000 in sales or $2,500 in sales just by doing some random follow-up calls to people that she quoted that never went ahead. And on an average price of $275, there's 10 or 11 customers who have turned around and said yes. And it's funny when I think about it from my perspective. Like when people make it easy for me, I just buy. So if I get a quote on something and I don't go ahead, it's not because I didn't like them, it's just because I'm busy. But if they ring me and say I'll be there Tuesday, I'm like, yeah, done, right? That's how you sell to busy people. You just do it for them. So you've got to call those quotes, right? And it's not pushy to follow up. If they've requested a quote and you've taken the time to make a quote, you've earned the right to jump on the phone and chase up the quote, okay? So don't worry too much about, don't overthink it, whatever, yada, 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 yada. All right, so that's the name of the game here. All right, strategy number 3, I can see some nice information coming through. So keep your questions coming throughout and then I will answer them. Here's another one that you could do, right? Just do a straight out email to your database. Now, if you've only got one person's email address, start doing emails. Obviously, the more emails you've got, the better it's going to be. But you could literally just do an email out right now that says, hey, I've got space to take on a client on Tuesday, first in, best dressed. You could do an email out that says, hey, I've got these, whatever, some products, and I'm do you want to buy them? Or you could literally just do an email out that says, hey, I've got some spare capacity, spare time, spare team, whatever it is for you, and I want to fill it. So who would like to take me up on this offer? You can literally put an offer out and drive sales from a database. It could be that people normally buy this, and so you email out about this one, right? Like just don't overthink it. And if right now it ends up being mission critical that you get money in the door, who cares about whether you hurt 1 or 2 people's feelings on your list? Business Greenhouse, I've emailed 3 times in 3 weeks to our list, and I probably haven't emailed the list since, I don't know, December, right? And that's because, at the end of the day, I look at a list and think, well, so what if I have some unsubscribes? We've got 8,500 Christian business people on a database. So what if I get some unsubscribes? What if I can give value to 7,000 people? And I kind of feel that's the same way. If you need to get money in the door, don't worry about hitting the list too often and getting 1 or 2 unsubscribes. Worry about the 7 customers who end up going, yep, I've been meaning to say yes and I want to buy from you right now. Get that money in the door, okay? If it's your biggest priority, then everything else has to fall underneath it anyway. Strategy number 4 for getting in quick is call past clients. Now, this is different to calling quotes, okay? Quotes is obviously, you know, whatever, people that didn't go ahead with you. You could call all your past customers that did go ahead with you and make them an offer and say, you know, and obviously the more critical it is that you get money in, the sweeter deal you're going to have to make. You call them up and you say, hey, listen, you bought from us back in February 2016. We've got some capacity to fill. Would you like us to come and do some work for you right now? No, 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 yes. No, 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 yes. Those 2 yeses. Let's go make some money. All right? So just call all your past clients. And by the way, it doesn't have to be salesy. Hey, Bob, it's Wez here. I'm just checking in with you. You bought that thing off us a little while ago. How's it all going? Is it okay? Is it good? Yep. Hey, I've got some spare capacity, spare time, spare product. I'd like to sell it to you if you've got a need. Is there any need there? However you would word that. People say, yes, no, maybe, done. Like, don't worry about it. If you need money, get on the phone. If you need money, do emails. If you need money, take collectors. Come on. There's all the lame excuses in the world don't get the money in the door, okay? You got to get the money in the door. That's what keeps this whole thing afloat. That's why weak people that have a go at us business people for being money driven, they got no idea what they're talking about with their fixed wage and their boring life. You try living on the roller coaster of entrepreneurship. You need the money in the door, otherwise it gets far too stressful. I wonder how many people hop off. If that number goes down, they were employees. I'm just saying. All right? Oh, went up 1. Yes. All right, happy days. 7, oh man, we're climbing now because I'm telling the truth, see? All right, number 5, fire sale, old stock. And by stock, I literally mean stock. But if it's not stock, you could fire sale hours. So if you're a trade-based business or a product-based business, doesn't really matter how you do this, you could fire sale hours. Let's say you got stock's easy, right? Do you know the amount of people that have stock and they're hanging to get the right price for it? I couldn't care less. I just want to turn it back into liquid cash so I can buy some more stock and do more marketing and get more sales. Don't be enamored by the stock you bought that because you love it and the market told you they don't, you're hanging out. Just sell it. Just turn it into cash. If you spent 20 bucks on an item hoping to sell it for 50, but somebody will pay you 10 right now, take 10. The money's worth nothing in the back cupboard, right? If you need cash in the door, find a way to do that. If you're a service-based business, if you're currently paying team members 30 bucks an hour to work for you and you charge them out at 100, start charging them out for 60. At least you're making margin on the 30 and you get money in the door. You can't do it forever and you'll go broke if you do it forever. But as a short-term cash grab, it is just a good idea because at least you're not paying the 30 bucks an hour to the staff member out of last week's sales. You're paying it out of this week's sales and you're making a margin which funds them for the week after. Got to start thinking like an entrepreneur here, people. All right? That's how you think. Obviously, we don't want to live in this state all the time, but when it happens, and it does happen from time to time, you've got to go all in, boots and all, get the cash in the door. If you don't, you're drawing down on credit cards, and if you don't do that, you're firing your staff who are your best asset, yada, 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 yada. All right? It's never, never, ever a good thing.